So welcome to the booth, guys. We've had Meter on the show a couple times, but why don't you kind of give us a brief overview, fill us in what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, so basically Meter does networking as a service, right? That's the
Right.
simplest way to put it. We provide your Wi-Fi and your internet service, and we do it all at an OpEx cost as opposed to having you paid a huge upfront capital cost. So we're helping a lot of 3PL companies, retailers out there as they continue growing and expanding into new facilities. It's been a really helpful way for them to kind of save money and also just to provide a good, reliable internet infrastructure, especially as they bring on more devices and more automation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think connectivity is such an important part of what we do, right? I mean, we pretty much cannot live without being connected. I mean, we're connected right now to be able to do this, right? To even talk. So, it's very interesting what you guys are doing and the model you're taking to that approach. And now you mentioned in there, looking at new facilities and bringing it into new places. But I'm interested to hear a little bit about the benefits that Meter can bring to like an existing facility that maybe already has a traditional network set up. How can you kind of help improve that network that already is in place?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, one way I like to think about this is a lot of folks are dealing with downtime just across the whole industry.
Right.
And we're seeing this consistently as a huge pain point. And so we're trying to address that by creating a managed service that's vertically integrated. So if there's an issue with the hardware, if there's an issue with an ISP outage, if there's an issue with all these different components that go into a network, we can be your one-stop shop to help solve that problem in an existing space. And another benefit is if you wanted to switch like one component of your hardware, or you wanted to switch to another ISP, or you need to open a new space or something, we're a great solution for that, because you just tell us like, oh, this is what I need in this space, and this is what I need in this other space, and we can just do it all within our one service offering.
Interesting.
I'll also add on to that. So for warehouses, IT equipment in general kind of becomes obsolete after about 5 years anyway. So they're constantly updating it regardless. And Meter handles that for you. So, that's all part of the service, where as new Wi-Fi standards come out, Wi-Fi 7 is coming out here in February of next year, supposedly. New hardware is going to be required to reflect that. So, that's all part of Meter service as well. So, why have to put up with that headache across 10, 20, 50 different sites when you can have somebody do that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I was talking to somebody recently that I used to work with, and they were going out to a facility to do exactly what you're saying. They were trying to upgrade their access points, basically. And I think, in that sense, when you look at the IT resources that it takes to do that, I mean, when you guys come into a facility and your services are put in place, I mean, what are the real savings that people are seeing there in terms of IT utilization, IT resource savings?
Sure. So, besides the IT man hours that people are saving, what labor is a challenge across all of the industries right now, but that's not limited to just warehousing. The IT industry is also lacking a lot of talent. Less and less people are actually learning about networking. That's no longer their major study. So, we are that expert in that field. So, we're saving a lot of labor and IT man hours there.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it's just as companies continue growing, IT teams aren't. So a lot of it is this is kind of on the back burner for they're just inundated with everything from tickets to WMS integrations, right? And you have a lot of generalists out there that, unfortunately just have way too much to do. And so when you can't put out recs, open recs like that to hire a network engineer, Meter just being that one-stop shop to be able to take this off of that IT team, they've seen a lot of benefit from that.
Interesting. Yeah.
And you also noted, asking about different cost-saving components. And one benefit that we provide is instead of having to pay, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars initially to do a hardware upgrade in a space, we just include that all in our, monthly service that you pay for. And so you'll never encounter some huge bill when, Wi-Fi 7 integrations or Wi-Fi 7 updates need to happen. We just kind of take care of it.
Interesting. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that aspect, kind of the What do you guys call it? Like network as a service? Almost, yeah. NAS. NAS. Yeah, tell us a little bit about NAS.
It's a fun word. We're gonna add it to the dictionary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I think everything's just kind of going that way, right? A lot of companies are trying to become asset light. You started off with software as a service, and now you're seeing RAS, right? Robotics as a service, trucking as a service. You've seen that here, and now we're introducing networking as a service as well. It's just a way for companies not to have to come up with that large capital right up front, like Christina was alluding towards, and especially with today, money being very expensive to get and acquire.
Yeah,
no longer having to put in a $2.5 million budget request every couple of years just to upgrade some of your hardware, because now it's just your operating expense, right? So we're just seeing the whole industry go that way, and then it also aligns with companies in general. Traditionally, as an IT vendor, you kind of want something to break because it's a service model where you kind of get paid to come in and fix something. For us, we need it to continue working for you so that you don't, cancel our services.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective, I guess, because as an IT vendor, you're kind of like business is slow. You're like, I hope something breaks, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, because it's like you're holding yourselves accountable almost as a company, right? You're saying like, I have to provide this reliable service, or else you're just going to drop me essentially, and then I have nothing, right? So I mean, I think it makes total sense. So I'm curious, as you're at this show and other shows I know you guys have been at, what are you hearing from people in terms of like what issues are they having around connectivity?
You want to start?
Yeah, we have people that come to us telling us, it's a weekly issue that we'll have downtime occurrences within our warehouses or our distribution centers or our fulfillment centers. And that is just, unacceptable in the industry, especially when every minute counts. Every minute you can calculate how many dollars you're losing for losing out on that productivity. And that's a pain point we're really trying to solve and help improve just across the whole market.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Just setting up a building is always difficult too.
I've been there. It's not
who your internet service provider
is. It's fun, but it's not fun.
You'd think it'd be a super simple thing, right? Just go on to Comcast, figure that out.
Right.
But it's surprisingly difficult to do. So just huge value to people just to be able to go onto our website, connect.meter.com, and literally type in their address and find out, hey, we have Lumen available here, AT&T available here. So that's just been a time savings for people. And then so I think another thing that people have been complaining about is as they grow more and, become more and more automated and upgrade their WMS systems, as they're adding more devices in, adding more Zebra devices, Honeywell scanners, all these devices that are coming in, the original networks that were in place, they're having a lot of issues with them where it's not able to handle as many client devices as they had anticipated, right? And then another big one is as warehouses kind of change and need to increase their storage, so they're going vertical. They're adding in, high bay racking, and all of a sudden that changes what your Wi-Fi structure looks like. And there's a ton of Wi-Fi outages there. So these are all things that we help people solve. We'll help plan better, and then we can also help you, move access points, make sure that you're going to be provided a very good, robust enterprise grade network there.
All right, interesting. All right, and I mean, I think it's really smart the way you guys are approaching it. Certainly, as you're saying, as things continue to upgrade, and it seems like technology in our space is just moving so quickly, right? So you want to be able to have that Wi-Fi and that connectivity too. That's going to move quickly with you as well. And it sounds like the model that you guys have built is certainly something that can progressively allow you to continue to evolve without having that be another restriction, right? You don't want something like that to hold you back. So I think it's really, really great what you guys are doing at Meter. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming by. If people want to find out more about Meter, how can they do that?
Go to meter.com.
Yeah. Oh, meter.com/new warehouse. I think I have my own link. Yeah. Go to that one. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I'm blanking, but so definitely check out Meter. I mean, I think it's a really interesting model for networking, and it really makes a lot of sense. So Christina and Andrew, thank you so much for coming by the booth.
Yeah,
thanks for having us on.
All right.